Shabbat Shalom, greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel. Glory and honor to our Father Yah, the creator of the 12 tribes, according to this book, and his son Messiah, Yahushua, who is his grace made manifest as both prophet, priest, and soon coming king. Glory and honor to his name. Greetings again to the 12 tribes, along with the 144,000 who are now among them, and who are being prepared as forerunners for the return of Messiah and the establishment of the Messianic kingdom, soon to be established according to our calculations within the next 9 years. Greetings. Greetings to the Gentiles also, who have received the perfect righteousness of the Father through Messiah Yahushua. Greetings. Greetings to the chat, Sister Azariah by Israel, Brother Diamond Holdings, Sister Hebrew is Rhonda, Yah Free, the Daniels family, Psalm 119, Brother David, Harriet, Brother Manny, Isha Shama and her husband, Brother Naviska and family, Imana Prakash, Brother Cashel, King Ruel, Stephen Kelly, Brother Gary Joseph, Brother Sister Wade, Yakoba Ben Israel, my brother, Extreme Art, Superstar, and all of you. Greetings to all of you, brethren and sisters. Again, Shabbat Shalom. We have been studying Prophecies of Daniel, and we're going to continue to study the Prophecies of Daniel. We're in chapter 7, where the focus in chapter 7 is the rise and power of the little horn, which we will continue in chapter 8. Again, I want to go over a couple of things. Number one, we realize that the Bible in Daniel 2 and in Daniel 7 is speaking about Rome. It's speaking about Rome and the rise of the Roman Catholic Church and the power of the Pope. What we saw in Revelation chapter 17, again, let's point this out. Revelation chapter 17, and again, as we stated, and we're going to continue to see, Revelation and Daniel are very closely connected. All the prophets are represented in Revelation, but Daniel in particular, particularly because of its prophecies about Rome. So in Revelation 17, we saw the woman. Okay, and again, let's just make this again plain and clear, because most people don't really know this, and then if those do, they don't quite understand it, as I didn't for a long time. But I just want to bring this and make this manifest now, so that we again clearly see what's going on behind the scenes. And that's the thing. Again, I don't want to say prophecy's a secret, but it's a secret to those that don't know. It's not a secret to those to whom it's revealed. Remember what Moses said in Deuteronomy when he said, the things Yah reveals, the things he doesn't reveal belong to him, but the things that he reveals belong to us. And then, of course, Revelation 1:1 says that these prophecies are for the servants of Yah. They're not for everybody. So most people will not understand these things. They're revealed to us, and that in itself is a major thing. It's a pretty major thing to say, this one group of people have been chosen to receive a message from the Bible that most people won't, even though they look at it, won't understand it. Okay. And yet, once you read the Bible with the guidance of the Father, you'll understand. And that's the second problem, which we always bring up. Most people do not actually read the Bible. Again, reading parts of it is not reading it. And that's what makes sure we're clear on that. Because people will claim to have read it. And it's the only book whereby people will read parts of it and claim to have read it. I mean, there's a book called The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And so if you ask somebody, have you ever read The Art of War? They say, well, I read a couple of chapters. They'll tell you, I read a couple of chapters, but I haven't read the whole book. So people say, well, I read the whole book. There's other books that have been written, books by, people that write fictional things. And have you read this book by so-and-so author? Well, I read part of the book. I have really never finished it. Or have you read 1984 by George Orwell? Somebody will say, well, I read part of it. No, I said, no, I read the whole book. Okay, then you read the book. But with the Bible, people will read Psalms, or they'll read a few prophets, or they'll skip here and there and read a New Testament, and they'll say, I read the Bible. But yet, when we look at it in relation to what it really means to read a book, no, they haven't read the book. And the thing that even goes further is people will partially read the book and then tell you what it means, or think they're telling you, having partially read it. Okay? And so that's what I mean when I say read your Bible. Start in Genesis, go through the Revelation. Very few people do it. Like I said, it'll take you about a year, some more, some less, but read the whole thing. No, you're not going to understand the whole thing for many reasons, but the understanding of this volume comes from the Spirit of the Most High. It's not based on your intellectual capability. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand in this world. But it's not based on your intellectual capability. It's based on your subservience to the Creator and His giving you of His Spirit to understand. Okay? That's what it's based on. So read your Bible and you will begin to understand the messages the Father has given to us here in the page of this book, which most people have not understood. There are people that read the Bible for nefarious reasons, like they're enemies of the Father, and they want to read it in order to create deception. And they do that. And that's going to happen. That's a lot of people do that, particularly those that Daniel exposes. But for those of us that want to obey the Father, and that's what it comes down to, brethren. See, we're in a war. We're in a spiritual war. And there are two sides to this war. There's the side of the covenant of the Father, the side of truth. He has given us this covenant as a means of connecting us with Himself. So I am Yahweh, thy Most High, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's the first one, the first and greatest one. No other gods but the Creator. The second one, don't worship the likeness of anything or any image or anything made by man. Don't bow down to it. Don't serve it. Goes with the first one. 3, don't take the Father's name in vain. In other words, let me make this one plain, because a lot of times people don't understand. Like I said, I didn't either, but let me explain that to you. Don't use the Father's name and word and truth as a cloak to do business for yourself. Did you hear what I said? Don't use His name, His worship, His truth as a means to do your business. That's taking His name in vain. It's not speaking it. It's making light of it. It's using Him for your personal gain. That's right. Don't use Him for your personal gain. That's exactly what it is. Don't take His name in vain. Empty, right? Using Him to make money, using Him to fool people, using Him to make yourself higher. That's taking His name in vain. And the devil does that, doesn't he? The devil has said he made man into a god. And he has also said he himself is worshipped to be the Most High. See, he has created an image, a likeness made out of wood and stone, and created institutions. And he has taken Father's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath. This one is the only one really mentioned, by name in Genesis, because he created, for in 6 days, Yahweh created heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is. So in 6 days, everything that's made of something you could touch, feel, smell, see was made, including man. And so what did he make on the seventh day? He made a block of time. That's all he did. He said, I'm creating this block of time for all humankind to remember I made everything. And to rest and to rest and connect with the Father and to understand there is no other God. But the devil made Sunday and Easter. Honor your father and your mother, the Bible says, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahweh, the Most High, gives you. The devil dishonored his father, did he not? He continually dishonors his father. In fact, he wants to take his father's place. Thou shalt not kill. That is, you don't commit murder. The devil is a murderer from the beginning, Messiah said. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Don't be unfaithful to the Father. The devil is unfaithful, and he teaches his subjects to be unfaithful to the Father. Thou shalt not steal. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. The devil was a murderer, Messiah said, and the father of lies. And he teaches his subjects the same. Thou shalt not covet. Don't desire and scheme to get what doesn't belong to you. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's house, his wife, his manservant, his maidservant. The devil covets to steal and to take this earth that was made by his Father. That's why the Father has a covenant with Israel, because we connect with him in that covenant, whereas the earth does not. Okay? We connect with him in that covenant. As a matter of fact, you still have Christians telling you the 10 Commandments have been done away with. The Sabbath has been changed. Have you all heard that? The Sabbath has been changed to Sunday because Jesus rose on Sunday, so the Sabbath changed to Sunday. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard the Old Testament done away with. How you going to keep all 600 of them laws? Old Testament done away with. The Father has made a covenant with Israel. And based on what we just went through, you understand, how could you say obedience to one God is done away with? How could you say taking his name for personal gain is done away with? But you see, again, I want to make sure we stress the covenant was made between, at the last time he made this covenant. Now, he made a covenant with Adam. He made a covenant with Seth. He made a covenant with all of those followers of faith all the way through to Noah. He said, I'm going to establish my covenant with you, Noah. But then he made a covenant with Abraham. And the last people as a nation he made a covenant with is Israel. Nobody else. And that covenant between us and Father Yah, with that perfection of righteousness, we are ordained to not only be obedient, to not only be filled with his spirit, which is a major, major thing, but we are ordained to teach the Gentiles this truth and connect the Gentiles to our Father the way Messiah connect us to him. Problem is, in this earth of deception, led by the father of lies and murders, people don't want to know that, don't want to believe that, because the chosen ones are on the lowest end of this society in Babylon. We are on the lowest end of Babylon in every area. We entertain Babylon, but you take away the entertainment, what we got? Take away the entertainment. What do we have? Take away entertainment. Take away the music. Take away the acting, take away the rapping, take away the sports. What do we really have? You take that away, what do you got? You got nations in the continent of Africa, but what? Ghana speaks English. Now, why does Ghana speak English? Why does Cote d'Ivoire French? Why does the Congo speak French? What, because that's the natural language? Really, when you take away the entertainment, what do we have? We don't have anything. And that's okay. I'm not saying that to say we should go get what we need to go get is truth. Father has set it up this way because he wants to, just like y'all remember how when we was in Egypt, when our fathers was in Egypt, and the Most High put the whammy on Egyptians, right? After that last plague of the last 7 plagues, the Father purposely led Moses into a trap. He told Moses, go this direction because the mountains are going to hem you in and you're going to be stuck by the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army is going to come and you're going to be stuck there. And he said, I'm going to get my glory on Pharaoh. Remember that? He said, do that. And so Moses did it. He led the people and they was trapped and the people was trapped. And here comes the Egyptian army, the most powerful army in the world at that time. Here they come. And the people's like, why you take us out to get killed? And Moses was already told, and Moses went to the Most High, what you crying to me for? Like, in other words, I done already told you what we get ready to do. Tell the people to go forward. Go forward where? Right through the Red Sea. See? So my point is he purposely put them in that position so that the only way they can be delivered was by him. And who would get the glory? The Father. So the next morning, all the Egyptian army was drowned. And the children of Israel was doing what? Singing songs. Well, brethren, let me tell you something. It's happening again. We are placed in a trap in the Babylonian system. Except we entertain them, we're not getting anything in this system. And the Father has it that way. That's okay. Because he wants us to work toward building up his kingdom in terms of being filled with his spirit, obedience to his truth, the followers of his word. That's what Israel has ordained to become. The followers of the word of the Father. Okay, the obedient ones to the Creator. Because, brethren, the war has the disobedience of the devil, of Satan, versus the obedience of Father Yah's children. And Father Yah, obedience to him is represented as truth and righteousness. That's what it is, truth and righteousness. And that's why he give us his spirit, that we can be filled with truth and righteousness and light. That's what he gives us for. And so, yes, we're not going to hold major corporations of money and business on this earth unless we're in entertainment. And again, when you're in the entertainment field, all bets are off because you're entertaining the devil's truth. You're entertaining his people. He always going to pay you to do that because then he can make you into a god through entertainment. I mean, really, that's what he does, doesn't it? The greatest entertainers live forever on this earth, don't they? So that's another way of him tricking us and making us worship man. So he can be an entertainer and he could use you to sing and dance and run and jump and dunk and tackle and hit the ball and throw the ball and all of that and act like you somebody else and be on screen and doing all your thing. He can cause you to do that. That's no problem. But aside from that, we don't have nothing. And if you check this out now, if you took the net worth of all the Hebrews, and we don't even have to make all the sports, just say basketball, football, and baseball and hockey. Take basketball, football, baseball, and hockey. You take all of the Hebrews, just the Hebrews, and you put their net worth together. What could they really get done? I mean, really, they could stop hunger on the whole African continent. They could redo the South End of Chicago if they wanted to. But you see, that's not happening, right? You know why? Because that money came as a result of Babylon. You play by Babylon's rules. You try to get out of Babylon, you're not getting out with the money. Ask Lauryn Hill. You can leave. You just can't take the money with you. You can leave. Just drop that money off at the door when you're leaving. Okay, you can leave. Go on. Drop the money, leave the mansion, leave the maid, leave the private jets. You can go on. See? That's how this game works, yo. Don't be surprised at that. This is the rules of the game. You know what we say? It is what it is. This is the rules of the game. It's the rules of the game. Okay, this is how it goes. But here we are with nothing, and we are getting prepared for 9 years or less, because that's where we're at right now. How do I know? Well, let me tell you, the world won't know, but the Hebrews will. And y'all that know, right? Y'all that know. We went through the word. We went through it. And we're going to continue to go through it. And y'all that know. Followers of Judaism are never going to know. Never. It's not given to them. That's not the Most High's religion. That religion is not in here. That ain't in here. Neither is Christianity. It's not. They're never going to know. Ever. They're still guessing. You still got Seventh-day Adventists talking to some of you that were former Adventists. Tell me if I'm wrong. You still got Seventh-day Adventists talking about, I wonder if we're in the judgment of the living yet. Wait, y'all know who I'm talking about. I wonder if we're in the judgment of the living yet. When are they going to bring this Sunday law? Sunday law is right on the president's desk, could be signed any day. They're never going to know. They're never going to know. Okay? They're never going to know. See, but the point is, the Most High has had Messiah in the most holy place from the moment he went in there in 1843 to 1844. We've been in the judgment of the living. We've been there. We're in the sixth seal. We're in the sixth church. We're in the sixth trumpet right now. The 144,000 are here. The awakening has begun already. Okay, it's already started. See, this is where we at. That's right. We in Philly. We in the sixth seal where the 144,000 are shown. We in the sixth church where you're about to see the two witnesses in sackcloth giving that message. That's where we are. The little book is open. Daniel, that's where we at. That's where we at right now. Okay? People don't even realize it. And you know what? Isn't that the way it was in Noah's day? The Most High instructed Noah by his spirit. Go in the ark. He sent the animals to Noah. Noah ain't go looking through all the woods to find tigers and lions. The animals came. By sevens and twos, they came. And they went inside. And he said, go into now you go in there. And Noah went in there. And the father sent the angel to close the door. Noah didn't close the door. Noah didn't say, okay, see ya. Nuh-uh. The angel closed the door. It was like it closed by itself. And for 7 days, nothing happened. Everybody was doing exactly what they did every day for 7 days. Until it was too late. Brethren, here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. So, Revelation chapter 17, beginning at verse 1. Revelation chapter 17, beginning at verse 1. I want to stress this point about the secrecy of the whore. Okay. Revelation chapter 17, beginning at verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And that's the key thing here. He carried the spirit was the angel, one of the seven angels carried John in the spirit into the wilderness. That's a very important point. So that what you're being shown now is secrecy. And again, it'll be shown in this when it says her name is mystery, secrecy. That is why it's so powerful that Father's revealing to us exactly what's happened, because to the earth, to the peoples of the planet, if you were to tell them the stuff that we're talking about today, they tell you you're crazy. But we're looking at the scripture. We're studying the scripture and it's giving us information. So if somebody would say, and this is what a Christian will say, you think the Pope is Antichrist? What verse do you get that from? Isn't that what you're gonna say? What verse do you get that from? Now, what's wrong with that question? What verse is that? First of all, we don't study one verse. We don't study one verse. You want to know? You got to study Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 8, Daniel chapter 9. You got to study Revelation chapter 13, Revelation chapter 12, Revelation chapter 17. Then you'll understand. Some people say, well, aren't we going to be in heaven for 1,000 years and then come back to this earth? No. What verse is that? You have to study Ezekiel chapter 38, Ezekiel chapter 39, Revelation chapter 19, Revelation chapter 20. Then you'll begin to understand. You got to also add to that Zechariah chapter 14. Then you'll begin to understand. What verse makes you think black people are Hebrews? You got to read the whole book of Deuteronomy. You got to read Ezekiel. You got to read Isaiah. You got to also read Zephaniah and Zechariah, and then you'll begin to understand. Along with Romans chapter 2, Romans chapter 11, Romans chapter 10, Romans chapter 9, then maybe you'll begin to understand. See? But you see where, look, what verse is that? Because you know what? They take one verse and make a whole doctrine out of it. That's why. You go to churches now, you'll see the pastor stand up and they'll take one or two verses and they'll make a whole sermon out of it without quoting any more Bible. That's it. And they'll be chanting that verse, chanting it. See, so that's why people will not know. It's there, but they're not going to know. They're not going to know. Okay, because you got to dig up in here. This is the cave which you're gonna mine out the gold. You got to dig up in there. You're not gonna be just one verse and here and there. I know we're in the information age, but you can't just Google the answers to this here. You got to spend some time here. Like I said, this is not about your intellectual capability. You can't just Google a few things and think you're getting this. You not. Let me just tell you, it's hard. It's not easy. But it's not supposed to be. Do you want it? Yeah, look, even like the greatest athletes. I was looking the other day at the story of Joe Louis, the heavyweight champion for 12 years. He held the heavyweight championship longer than anybody in history ever probably will. And I looked at what he did. Like, I was looking at his training regimen, what he did to prepare for fights back in the 1930s and the 1940s. It was unbelievable. And so I was like, wow, the dedication to the craft of boxing. I didn't even realize on that level, what he had done. And I thought about it and I said, no matter what you do on this earth, if you're going to become like great at it, it's going to take everything you got. And some of the greatest talents never make it in the field. Like I said, I got a cousin that can roll out of bed, drink 2 quarts of Old English, smoke a pack of cigarettes, and come on the basketball court and destroy anybody. I mean, destroy you. Okay, I'm not lying. And why? Because that's just the problem. He could just roll out of bed and do it. He never had to practice. He could just roll out of bed and just do it. Okay. You understand? So he didn't appreciate what he had. The best player, like a guy like a Michael Jordan, didn't even make his 10th grade team. Didn't make his team. But in order to make it, you got to put everything you got into it. It's got to be completely dedicated to it. So that this is the same thing with this here. You have to decide you're going to eat this. This is going to be part of you. Thy word have I hidden in my heart that I might not sin against you. You got to eat that word the way he showed Ezekiel, the way he showed John the Revelator. You got to eat that word. It's got to be one with you. Okay, so that's if it's the same in that regard. In this war, it's the same on both sides. You have to be completely, earnestly dedicated to your Father and his goal and his cause and his spirit. I'm not saying you got to become a monk or a priest, but I'm saying that you have to be, number one, dedicated to be obedient to your Father. And that, comes from the study of his word and from the receiving of his spirit. And that's between not me, you, and him, not you, your wife, and him. It's between you and him. The Father told Ezekiel that this land had Daniel, Noah, and Job in it, and I could only save them. Nobody else can save their family by their righteousness. And what does that mean? That means it's between you and your Father. That's why I'm always saying to y'all, pray to your Father. Ask him for his spirit. You and him. He knows all about you, but he needs you to be real with him. Like, you ever see your children and you know they did something wrong, but instead of accusing them, you want them to come clean and tell you. Isn't that right? Listen, I don't even say I saw you. I just want you to tell me. Did you do that? Did you do that? And I'm gonna ask you again now. Did you do it? Now I saw you. I ain't telling now. I ain't say I saw you do it. I'm just waiting. So did you do? Why? Because I need him to be honest with me. I already know he did it. I need him to be honest with me. Okay. Well, that's the same thing with our Heavenly Father. He knows all about you. He knows the good, the bad, the ugly. He knows every corner of your life before you ever existed. So you ain't telling him nothing new, but he needs you to come clean with him because that helps you. You understand? That helps you. You ain't hiding from him. You ain't fooling him. You can fool everybody, but you ain't fooling him. He knows. Okay? He already knows. He just needs you to come clean. So this woman in the wilderness is secret. So in other words, the woman is running the beast, which is the Babylonian system, and she's running it in secret. Nobody knows she's doing it. That's why he was carried away into the wilderness. Okay? Revelation chapter 17, verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Remember now, she's in secret. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now, the word abominations, if you go back and look at, I think it was 2 Kings under Solomon, I think it's either 1st or 2 Kings. The abominations are false religions, man-made religions. That's what the Bible calls abominations. They're man-made religions, see? And so, this one is the mother of all man-made religions. You understand? Let me find that so I can get you that stuff there. Yeah, it's 1 Kings chapter 11. 1 Kings chapter 11. 1 Kings chapter 11, beginning at verse 1 and going from verse 1 down to verse 8. 1 Kings chapter 11 from verse 1 to verse 8. Notice what it said. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, the women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and the Hittites, of nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall not go in unto them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods. And his heart was not perfect with Yahweh his Most High, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after, watch this now, for Solomon went after Ashtoreth, that's Easter, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, what is it? The abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of Yahweh and went not fully after Yahweh as did David his father. Then did Solomon build a high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. You see, you get the pattern here? Likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. See? So abomination represents a man-made religion, which is a false religion. And so this whore is the queen of all abominations of the earth. All man-made false religions. You catching it? And that's why, like Ruel was asking me earlier this week, the abomination, and Messiah said, when you see the abomination that causes desolation, that is the final abomination. You see, abominations have existed since there was a Satan on the earth, right? But he said the abomination that causes desolation. In other words, the last one that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. You understand? That's the one that's, so he said, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. And so what happened? Rome was begun, or at least at its height, it was led by groups of different emperors, and usually they were related to Caesar, right? So you had Julius Caesar, you had Augustus Caesar, Caligula Caesar, so on and so forth, right? And so each of these Caesars was the supreme leader of Rome. Okay, and that's why the whole world was taxed, because Caesar said all the world needs to be taxed. So what you had there is one man as supreme emperor over the most powerful nation on the earth. Now, later on, that one man, Caesar, was switched, and now it's not Caesar anymore. Caesar has become who? The Pope. See? You follow me? And that's why Daniel chapter 7 says that fourth beast was diverse from the other ones. Because now you have a switch. And that's what Paul is talking about. And again, I wanted to point out in Revelation that the reason this woman is in the wilderness is because everything is happening. What I'm telling you right now, 99% of the world does not know. 99% of Christians do not know. And even those that do know, they don't know. They still don't understand how it's developing, what's going on. Whereas the Most High in his grace toward us is showing us exactly what's going on. Okay, he's showing us exactly what's going on. Let's look at 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 again. Now, remember what I just said. So you had these Caesars, Caligula, Diocletian. You had these Caesars, emperors over the earth. Final one, Constantine, right? Now, that was the devil's plan. But then eventually, that one man that's running in Rome was replaced by another man. And now, when I said that to you, watch what we're getting ready to read right here in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, because at the time of the Apostle Paul, who wrote this epistle, you had the Caesars running there. Okay, remember that. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, let's begin at verse 3. I'm going to go from verse 3 down to verse 7. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 from verse 3 down to verse 7. Actually, from verse 3 to verse 8. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So a falling away, that is people falling away from the truth, and specifically the Hebrews falling away from the truth. Okay, even the believers, there'll be a falling away first, and the man of sin will be revealed, because the man of sin will have something to do with the falling away of the Hebrews. Watch. Who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called Most High, or that is worshiped, So that he, as the Most High, sits in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is Most High. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? Now watch this verse. For now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in this time. In verse 7, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Who had to be taken out of the way? Well, the Caesars had to be taken out of the way and replaced with the Bishop of Rome. Does that make sense, y'all? So you had to have a falling away. You had to have a changing of the guard. It had to go from Constantine to a pope. Okay, and that's what he was talking about. Because at the time when he wrote this, there was no pope. He knew one was coming, the little horn, but that didn't exist then. What existed then was Caesar's. Okay, so he said, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So you see, there had to be a changing of the guard from the old Roman Empire to the Holy Roman Empire. And that was what the little horn comes in. So you had Rome under the Caesars, and that's who came and scattered Israel and Judah, and that's who came and took over the land. And again, children of Japhet, the third phase, the third iteration, after the Medes and the Persians, and after the Greeks came the Romans. But then for the last phase of this thing, which we're now in, you're going to have the little horn who takes the place of the emperor of Rome. And not only that, he has to do it in secret so that he's controlling everything. He's running everything, but you don't see him. Okay. It's in the wilderness. And why is that so important? Because for us who know the truth, we should understand what Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah understood. This is about worship. Because you see, in order for the devil, or Satan, to get the earth to claim the earth as his, he has to have everybody on the earth. And they don't have to be knowing they're worshiping him. What they have to be knowing is that they're worshiping a religion. And he knows that he's the founder of all man-made religion. So as long as they know they're worshiping some religion, especially the major three, plus you can add Buddhism and Hindu in that too. As long as you're worshiping in one of those, you good. The problem comes with those covenant keepers. There you have a problem. See, the covenant, the people that are obedient to the covenant are stopping Satan from having total religious control of the earth. Everything else you see, brethren, I don't care what it is. And that's why somebody say, how could you talk about the Knicks and you following the Bible? Let me tell you something, man. Everybody and everything in this planet is Babylon. The only difference is I'm obedient to the covenant. And I'm obedient to the covenant by the Father's perfect righteousness. And as long as that's the case, I'm not worried about the Knicks or the Yankees or anybody. Because you know what? The day is going to come when this world's going to vomit me out. And you too. Because you see, brethren, it's coming closer. And the Father is moving his people. You think when Moses was called at Mount Sinai to go get the children of Israel, when the Father said, I've heard the groanings of my people, do you think at that time those people were actually prepared to leave? Even though they was happy when they saw Moses, oh, you're going to deliver us. But soon after that, they started complaining. And Ezekiel tells you why. Because they started thinking they actually was Egyptians. Now, Egyptians wasn't letting them forget that they were slaves. But they started thinking they was Egyptians. See? So they, what? Deliver us where? But the Most High keeps his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so he is going to deliver his people. And the key thing is our connection with Father Yah in the covenant. Messiah is the one that causes that connection to happen. See? The Father used Messiah to cause that connection to happen. So that connection to the covenant is what makes us different from everybody else on the planet. And it's going to cause our Satan eventually to want to kill us because he can't do nothing about it. He can't induce us. He can't deceive us. He can't cause us by money or by anything he can offer us to take away our allegiance to the only true creator. Therefore, at the end, he will have them trying to kill us. Okay, that's what it comes down to. Daniel, chapter 7. Daniel, chapter 7. Yes, that's what this war is about. That's right. And that's exactly right. Well, we're going to get vomited by somebody. So we're going to make somebody sick. Either you're going to be a Laodicean and you're going to make Messiah sick, or you're going to be a follower of the Father and you're going to make Asatan sick. Somebody's going to make somebody sick up in here. So you got to decide who you're going to make sick, Father Yah or Asatan, because one of them is going to vomit you out. Okay, one of them. Messiah already said, I can't take Laodicea, I'm vomiting y'all out. Can't take you. And the devil say, whosoever would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And you can't buy or sell in my Babylon system. Coming down to that, brethren. Coming down to that. Yep, it's coming down to that. It's coming. It's the thing is, brethren, to be honest with you, when you read Revelation chapter 7 properly, as we know we do, right? It's already here, right? It's already here. Like everything is in place that needs to be in place for them to do exactly what they want to do. So here's your quiz question for today. If everything is already in place for them to do exactly what they want to do, what's stopping them? What's stopping them? If everything is already in place, what's stopping them? That's right. Remember what the Father told the angel. The angel was going back with the seal, and he said, hold the winds until the servants are sealed. He said, hold the winds. That's why they can't do nothing. Look, you think Pharaoh is going to let Moses walk up in his palace and threaten him? Especially after all of them plagues already fall. Moses and Aaron just walk up in there and say, thus says Yahweh, and they would break stuff up. It got to the point where the Egyptians saw them coming and said, because they were nothing to do with them two brothers. Why was it that Moses could just walk up in there and nobody would say nothing to him? Because Father had it that way. Why could Elijah walk up into Ahab and right in the palace and say, it's not going to rain till I say so, and walk out and nobody mess with him? Because Father Yahweh. Why could Messiah stand in front of people wanting to kill him and walk through the midst of them and walk away? Because it wasn't his time. You see, brethren, right now, everything is in place. The only thing going on at this point is Father is preparing us for that seal. That's all that's going on right now. Everything else to the Father, he's preparing us for that seal. Okay, Asatan think he needs more to do, and he's still moving, and he's gonna do what he do. But Father's already got everything set, and he is now holding the winds until we are prepared. That's what I'm saying. Don't worry. The preparation is of the Father, and he's not going to send you off to war unless you're definitely trained and equipped, and he's going to make sure that happens. Okay, he's going to make sure that happens. You see, so don't worry. Just keep faithful in your allegiance to Yah and to his word. Keep faithful in that. He will make sure you're prepared. Don't worry. He got us. He got us, brother. Listen, where he bring you from? I mean, look in your mind. Listen, I ain't heard too many. I got one or two people talking about testimonies from Memorial Day weekend. We got like 12 families coming. I need some more testimonies. Where he brought you from? You got a testimony. Where he brought you from? You know he brought you from. And how is it you still here? Because you smart? Because you ain't make no mistakes? How is it you still here? Because it's his will. That's why. Because it's his will. You understand? Because it's his will that you're still here. Because it's his grace and mercy that you're still here. And you and I both know many people we know already laid out, right? Young and old. People we know already laid out, right? Resting in their graves. Here we are. Why? Why us? See, people like to say, well, because I ate the right way or I exercised or I did. No. Because Father chose you to be here. That's why you're here. That's right. He chose you to be here. That's why you're here. See, as long as we stay faithful to the Father, he got us. He's going to keep us and he's going to prepare us. Because we're coming down the pike. Here's his little horns already here. Okay. Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7. So we finished last night at verse 18. I'm going to start from verse 17 and start again. Daniel chapter 7 from verse 17. These great beasts, which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. I love reading that. Forever and ever. In other words, if you don't understand how long it's going to be, think about forever, even forever and ever. You just want to make sure you understand. Praise the Most High. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. So now he said, listen, man, all right, I got them other beasts. Tell me about this fourth one. This one was something else. He said, exceeding dreadful. Iron and brass, devoured, break in pieces, and stomped. And listen, let's be honest. Let's be honest now. Be honest about it. Come on now. So we know that the children of Japhet are the rulers of this planet. We know that. That's no doubt. Don't even try to front. Children of Japhet rule this planet. Okay, there's no doubt. The G10 has all the power and money of Babylon. Okay. And ask yourself a question. How exactly was the method they used to become where they are? Like, how did they get there? How did all of these nations, how did they get where they are in power? How did the United States get where they are? How did, Germany and all, that's right, wars, discovering, that's right. And the worst part was the discovering part, wasn't it? The discovering means everybody got to die except the people we keep as slaves. That's discovery, right? Everybody got to die except the people we keep as slaves. And even slaves got to die if you can't keep up with the work. That's the same thing that still goes on, okay? That's the discovery. The discovery part is really how it happened, right? And all of them, same thing. Okay, all of them, same thing. So that's how they do it. That's why it says exceeding dreadful, devoured, break in pieces, and stomped. Does that about sum it up? Does that about sum it up? Devoured, break in pieces, and stomped. That's called the beat down. That's about how they did it. That about sums it up, doesn't it? Yes, indeed. That's the fourth beast. Okay. Yep, bullies. Yep. Verse 20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Now, when I found this out, I laughed. I remember it was a long time ago, but when it said he spoke very great things, I said, wait a minute, you mean spoke great things? What does that mean, spoke great things, right? I was like, what do you mean spoke great things? No. What it means, and y'all from y'all from the tribes, y'all gonna know what I'm gonna say right now, understanding. He was talking straight big time mess. Y'all got me? He was popping off big time. That's what it means when it says, he said, who is this talking all this mess? That's what Daniel is asking. Who is this talking all this mess? Talking about very great things, right? Popping off. So he spoke blasphemy. He was popping off. You understand? He was running his mouth too much, right? Spoke very great things. And it said his look was more stout than his fellows. In other words, he had nerve. He had a lot of nerve. He got a lot of nerve. So when you're speaking like this in terms of the Most High, what are you doing? You're trying to act like you are the Most High. You're coming out your face like you the one that you're the object of worship. You're the object of holiness. You're the object of righteousness. You're where it comes from. Well, do we know anybody that talks like that? Do we know any religion that acts like that? You control people's consciences, not the Holy Ghost. You know anybody that does that? Yes, yeah, he said it with his chest. That's right. Yeah. Look, not only the whore, but all of the abominations of her daughters do the same thing. If you've ever been any of them, you know what I'm talking about. The whore and all of them will call themselves by this term. And tell me if you've heard this before. I don't care if you're in the Mormons, if you're in the Jehovah's Witnesses, if you're in the SDAs, if you're in the Baptists, the Pentecostals. This is what they say. Have you joined the church? You notice that? They'll say, the church. And then they say like this, oh man, they apostatized. They left the church. Y'all ever see that? You ever heard that? You catch that? They left the church? Yes, they left the church. And you could be listening to any number of denominations. You could be listening to the Catholics, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, the SDAs, the Baptists, the Pentecostals. Where's brother and sister so-and-so? Oh, you didn't hear? They left the church. You hear that term, right? And really, if you're in the Israelite nation, the scattered nation of Jacob, you are the church. You understand? Upon this rock, I will build my church. And the church is a nation. But you see, we have been brainwashed to think it's an institution. It's an institution that you must join in order to be with the chosen people, in order to be saved. That's right. So it's not Peter. No, it's not Peter. You. No other foundation can man lay than that which is laid, even Messiah Yahushua. His look was more stout than his fellows. And he spoke very great things. Okay. Verse 21. Verse 21. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. This is one of the most profound verses in this chapter, in my opinion, because notice that what it says, he spoke very great things. He was popping off, and he was like Imani says, peace, talking with his chest. Like, you got to come to the church. Unless you take communion, you cannot be saved. And it's the Holy Father that you're praying with. It's the Holy Father, and the Holy Ghost is the Holy Catholic Church. Right? That's the church popping off. And then prevailed against the saints. So, you want to know who that is? Well, let's take a look. You got a Roman situation with a religion, and they prevailed against the saints. The true Israelites were overcome by this institution. They were overcome in multiple ways. You know, I was looking at a documentary today. It was made by some English dude, some British dude, but he went to Haiti and the Dominican Republic, and he was looking at the Haitians trying to break into the Dominican Republic, and Dominicans trying to keep them out, and Dominicans doing what do you call that when you go and take money from people for protection, extortion and stuff like that. They were looking at that, and then they were talking about the treatment And I'm looking at this, and you look at two groups of people, and they look alike. And one group thinks they're better than the other group, right? They look alike. It's not even like you can say these are children of Yafet and these are not. They look alike. Like there was people that looked just like a woman that was Haitian, the Dominicans, and they're taking from her. And I was like, but y'all are brethren. But they don't know that. And you know why? Because one side has the blessing of the little horn. The other side doesn't. Y'all notice that, right? Now, why is that? Why is it that the Dominican Republic has the blessing of Rome and Haiti does not? Why is that? Why? Why would that happen? Well, all you have to know is the history. What's the history? Dominican Republic is Catholic. It's remained Catholic since the Spaniards came over there and took it over and enslaved the people and took it over. It's remained Catholic. Whereas the Haitians kicked the French out. And since they did that, the world has been using every means to destroy Haiti. The fact that they still exist is a miracle. The fact that they still exist shows you that the Father is keeping his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The fact that they still exist. Okay? They're suffering greatly. Very few people on the earth suffer like the Haitians, but they still exist. Okay? And that's the difference. Because the Pope is blessing one side and cursing the other. And so as long as you're trying to make it in this world, they're going to be cursed. The earthquakes, the destruction. And then whenever money is given to one dictator that is chosen by the G10. And then that dictator takes off with the money and the people are left with the debt. That's the same formula they've used in a number of countries. But it's amazing. Okay, it's amazing. And that's why it says he made war with the saints and prevailed against them. Made war with the saints and prevailed against them. So let's count the ways. The religion itself with white Jesus locks up your mind, messes you up spiritually. The institution of Christianity, the war of slavery, right? The slavery with the blessing of Rome. Christopher Columbus came with the blessing of Rome, right? And he was discovering stuff. Especially the year 1492 seemed to be a big year. Y'all notice that? A whole bunch of stuff was happening in 1492, man. All kind of stuff was happening to the Hebrews in 1492. And so that was a big mess for us. And that was him prevailing against the saints. And then, of course, we know right now, again, in terms of the Hebrews, we at the bottom rung of every area of society. There's only area we get any kind of thing in is the entertainment area. Outside of entertainment, we got to scrape and fight and scratch for even to get into middle class. Okay, even to get into middle class. And some of us, there's some people that act like because all of us are not where they are, there's something wrong with us. Like Morgan Freeman. He sat there with a homosexual. Oh, let me not say that. He sat there with an alphabet suit and was talking about, well, me and you made it. They're just lazy. He lost me there. He lost me for good. And I used to like him. I think he was a great actor, but he lost me right there. He sat there with alphabet suit talking about, well, you and I made it. So in other words, because you decided to let Hollywood do you up and pay you, all of us supposed to do that? Alphabet soup that just got fired. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Rainbow Man that just got fired. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Rainbow Man, Alphabet Soup. He was sitting with him. And Alphabet Soup was laughing. I was like, see what I'm saying though? So that's the curse. So we are not really intended on making it in Babylon. It's not built for us to make it because why? They said, I beheld to the same horn, made war with the saints, and prevailed against them. So in every area, in the area of the judicial system, more of us are in jail than any other people on the planet. Nobody else has the level of heart disease that we have, the level of cancer that we have. In our neighborhoods, the food is poisoned. You don't get good meat. It's cheap, and there's a reason for that. I remember in Harlem, everybody used to go up to. I remember y'all from New York. You know, it was like 100 and what was it, like 145th Street, and there used to be this big market up there. You can go get meat cheap up there. And I was like, why is it? And I said, why is the meat so cheap there? Why is it so cheap there? Like you can't get it cheap downtown. Why you get it so cheap up there? There's a reason for that. And of course, let's not even talk about the water, right? Flint, Michigan, Washington, D.C., some areas, the water killing people. Not everybody, just certain neighborhoods. And so that's us. What again? Why? Until it says, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. That's why. Yep, that's right. That's why. Hey, what is it with the water? You think like they can't fix the water? I mean, right? I mean, what is that? Why is it that certain areas of Michigan get great water and Flint, Michigan getting rocked? Why is that? Why is it that Mississippi has more Hebrews than any, percentage-wise in almost any state in the United States, and they are the poorest state? Them in West Virginia, poorest states in the Union. Why is that? You can't get no representation. Why is that? Yep, Gary, Indiana. You can go on and on. That's right. Southside Chicago, South Central LA, Little Rock, Arkansas, Dallas, Texas, Houston, H-Town. You can keep going. You can keep going. My son is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He said there's a section of Minneapolis, Minnesota, ghetto, with people from Sudan and Ethiopia struggling. That accidental? No, just so happened Minnesota was one of the first states to create redlining. Y'all didn't know that, did you? The first states, it wasn't Mississippi, it wasn't Alabama. The first states to create redlining was Minnesota. That's right. And so they mastered that mess. They mastered that mess. So, hey, what is it again? I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. It's all good though, brethren. Don't worry. I understand. Listen, I'm angry too, but it's all good. You know why I know it's all good? Because look, it's not much longer. I am so happy, brethren, that this truth is coming out. I'm so happy for this word. And I know we're going to get attacked. We're already getting attacked, believe me. But I'm so happy that we know that, brethren, before we was in a tunnel, a thousands of years tunnel, and didn't know when we was coming out, brethren, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel right now. You're talking about 9 years. We really are at the end. Really are. We're at the end, brethren. This is not going to last much longer. In fact, let's read now 21 and 22. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. For how long? Verse 22. Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Now, this coincides with what Messiah said when he said, we shall be taken into all nations into captivity until the times of the Gentiles is fulfilled. That's right, David. That's right, David Harry. Until the times of the Gentiles is fulfilled. So he said, until the time came, until the Ancient of Days. What do you mean Ancient of Days? That's the Father. Until he came and met Messiah and handed Messiah that book, and Messiah started unsealing it, and he unsealed 7, and he said, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. See, we're not scared of judgment. When you know the truth, you're not scared of judgment. You're looking forward to judgment. Why are you looking forward to judgment? Because even though you don't deserve it. It humbles you now because you know you don't deserve it, but you're covered in perfect righteousness. Your book is clean because of Messiah, Yahushua. Your book is clean because of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. You're seeing your people suffer. Yes, it bothers you. Bothered Malcolm X. Bothered Martin Luther King. Bothered all the brothers. Fred Hampton. Bothered Khalid Muhammad. Bothered all the brothers. But they couldn't do anything about it. They was trying to fight against this system. Now we have discovered the secret. The secret is knowledge of self. The secret, which Father is revealing to us. That's what it is. It's Father revealing to us knowledge of self. What do I mean when I say knowledge of self? That means Hebrews are understanding for the first time in a long time who we are, who we really are, and what's about to really happen based on us discovering who we are. That's why it's not much longer. It's not much longer. Just today, my wife and I were walking. Some child of Yafet, some 70-year-old child of Yafet, got the nerve to be cutting his eyes at me. And when I look back at him, you know how we do. Then you go like this. I'm like, yeah, okay. Not much longer, sir. Not much longer. Y'all know I'm down here in Trump territory, man. The Most High got me in the middle of Trump land. These children of Yafet out their mind, but it's all good though. Because you know what? Not much longer. Not much longer, brethren. Exactly. Castle King, no, not much longer though. Not much longer, brethren. It's all good. All good. Because it's not much longer. That's why, I'm actually hoping. I admit it. I'm hoping DeSantis becomes president. I'm hoping he is, because let's get this over with. Let's get it done. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it done. Let's do it. Let's do it. I know it's going to be hard. I know I'm probably speaking foolish, but let's do it. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. You know what Messiah, what John said, even so. Let's get it done. Okay? Do what you need to do. Let's do it. That's right. Let's get it done, man. Yeah, I heard that. It don't matter. The next president is going to be the last one. And I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't going to be Trump or Biden. It ain't going to be neither of them old dudes. Anyway, let's go back. Daniel chapter 7. Okay. Until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Verse 23. Now watch this now. Verse 23. Verse 23. Very important. Watch this. Daniel 7:23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, Rome, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, holy Rome, and shall devour the whole earth and tread it down and break it in pieces. See, this is the secret thing that nobody understands what's happening. Do we not have a one world system right now? Don't we? Don't tell me they're getting ready to do a new currency. Oh my God, what's happening to the dollar? Don't get fooled by that, brethren. Don't get fooled by that. Please don't. The G10 is under the guise of Rome, and they have a one world system already. We have a one world system. And based on our understanding of following the truth, which is the Hebrew Messiah and Father Yah, we have a one world government already, don't we? Because all of religions of the government are under the UN, and we have a one world religion because all the religions of the earth are of man, and it's organized. It's got the three Abrahamic religions organized. It's got Hinduism and Buddhism organized. And then you might go into Africa and find different ones, but they don't care. Right? They control Africa. It's called colonization. They colonized Africa. So they control it already. Every nation in the continent. What you think? Oh, you think because you there, you free? Okay. Watch. I pray, really though. I understand brethren going to the continent. I do. Seriously. I would get out with it. If the Most High allowed me to go, I would go. Because you know what? Just to get away from certain people. But don't ever think that it ain't going to come to you over there. Nah, where you at? It's coming. You go. If I was in Africa or South America or wherever I was, I'd be scoping out where the hills, where the mountains, where's the jungles, because that's going to be your new home very soon. They're going to come after you. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you go is good. Get away from this climate, get some peace from this climate of situation that we're here in, because, really, outside of Africa, right? Outside, not Africa, outside of Rome, the Vatican. Let me say it again. Outside the Vatican, I think we can all agree that the United States is the seat of the beast here. Outside the Vatican itself, there's no other one. Like, it's the worst here. It's the corruption here is the worst. Okay, it's really. Okay, the hatred here, the corruption here is the worst. Okay, and it's going to come here. It's going to hit here hard. Okay, this lamb-like beast getting ready to catch it. So I understand. If the Most High sends us, and I pray he does, man. My wife and I was, like I said, man, I was just a few years ago, I told my wife, you know what? I'm thinking ahead and I'm thinking, you know what? We need to leave this country. This was about 10 years ago. I said, we need to leave this country, man. She said, how are we going to do that? I said, I don't have to wait till. So now I'm waiting until I get old enough and sell stuff and get out, because I do want to leave. But again, we make plans and the Most High laughs, really, because if you're really wanting to follow Father Yah, you're going to go where he sends you. I definitely didn't send myself to Florida. Glad I'm here, but I didn't send myself here. There was no way until exactly a year ago I would have thought I'd be in Florida. No way. No way, no way, no way. I was like, man, let's go to Mexico. Let's go to Ecuador. Let's go to the Philippines. Let's get out. That's what I was thinking. But Father said, nope, you going to Florida. And here I be. And then before that, we was in New Hampshire. And I was like, where we going? We going to Roanoke, Virginia. Daggone, baby. So much some rednecks. And then we ended up in Northern Virginia. I said, okay, we comfortable here. Okay, now you comfortable? Time to go to Florida. So, brethren, you're going to get a ride, wherever you go. But listen, I have no problem. Brethren, want to get out of here and get away from this craziness? Got you. But be prepared. You get ready to catch it wherever you be, man. It's going to come worldwide. He said he shall subdue the whole earth, break it down and break it in pieces. That is the whole earth. That is no matter what country you're in. I don't care where you are. It's coming for you. They're going to come for you, okay? But don't worry. Father got you. He still got you, no matter where he is. As long as you are where he wants you to be, okay? As long as you are where he wants you to be, you're going to be okay, okay? I know it's hard. It's going to be hard. It's supposed to be hard. It's okay, though. Let's get it over with. Okay? What time is it? 12:55. All right, so let's take a break. I'll be back at 1:45, and we'll finish chapter 7, okay? We'll take a break now. I'll be back at 1:45, and we'll finish chapter 7. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you, and may he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. So